Remove the back cover. Remove the battery. And remove the S Pen. We can heat along the LCD to soften the adhesive underneath. Use a plastic triangle opening tool to run along the edges. Be careful along the bottom as to not damage the touch keys. Use a nylon spudger to pry the LCD from the midframe. Reapply heat as needed. Once we have the LCD sufficiently freed from the midframe, we can use a pair of fine tip curved tweezers to disconnect the S Pen sensor. And then also disconnect the LCD connection. Remove all 16 small Phillips screws. And pry apart. We'll use a nylon splitter to disconnect the ear speaker. Remove the ear speaker from the midframe and set it aside. Disconnect both interconnect cables from the bottom of the board. We'll disconnect the home button. Then we'll put the spudger under the motherboard and rock it back and forth to disconnect the dock connector. And then we'll lift the motherboard from the midframe. We will use a nylon spudger to disconnect the front-facing camera. And then we will push up on the small black tab, holding it to the motherboard. Once we have that disconnected, it'll simply lift free from the motherboard. Then we will disconnect the rear-facing camera. We will reconnect the rear-facing camera. And then reinstall the front-facing camera. Insert the motherboard back into the bottom of the bracket, and then press the top back into place so it snaps in place, and then reconnect the connector. We'll take the motherboard and reseat it into the mid-frame. We'll push down on the bottom of the motherboard to reconnect the dock port connection. We'll reconnect the home button and reconnect both button connectors. We'll now replace the ear speaker. And take both halves of the assembly. Insert the bottom with the charging port in first, and then snap them back together. We'll then replace the 16 small Phillips screws.